This is the Suplex Assassin, Alex Kane, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show at Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, everything in between, every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy. Use promo code Wrestling with E for 10% off your next purchase. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J, alongside the leader of Squash Squad, who we're hoping will come later on in the night, Kaliko Yachts, but who is actually here, the American Scooter Dust.
Yes, it's true. I am the one who stole the cookie from the cookie jar.
And it was a great week for Wrestling With, as we interviewed Alex King, which was just an incredible interview with somebody you kind of you know that they're gonna make it, but you hope that they make it as well. Correct, Scooter?
I mean, why would you hope they wouldn't make it? That just seems cruel. But yes, he, he Alex has something. He's got something. It's just on the cusp of really being unleashed on the wrestling world.
And you know, um, Alex revealed some important news during that interview as well. Uh, could you maybe tell everybody what we could find some help for some mental health problems, Scooter?
Um, yes, of course. Mental health, of course, is a big issue in the world. It's cause it's very near and dear uh, to our heart. I guess first, of course, there's always help. There's always someone there to listen. And the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 800-273-8255. And of course, and it's not even just a phone number anymore. It's a website where within minutes you could just be chatting with someone. You just you just want to you just want someone to listen. That's really you know what all of us who go through mental issues really.
And next week on the show, we got Anthony Idol, the Neon Phenomenon. Um, some really great stories from the Neon Phenomenon, including one you might already have heard, but from a different perspective. And he might even give Psycho Mike a run for his money when it comes to rough fighting routes. So you definitely want to listen to that one. The 28th, Wednesday the 28th, we got Brutal Bob Evans on, Uncle Bob. And then August 4th, we got Calvin Couture, the fashionista of the wrestling world. So lots of uh, lots of good things happening for wrestling right now. But now that we're done putting ourselves over, uh, it is not a great day for wrestling as we lost a true legend. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff has passed away. Scooter, you have some words to say?
Yes, the wrestling world is saddened and devastated by the loss of Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. If you are an old school wrestling fan, mid 90s wrestling fan, you know who Paul Orndorff is. In the mid 80s, he was all over WWF television as he and Hulk Hogan had the 1986 feud of the year, according to Pro Wrestling Illustrated, which goes to show you what really could have happened if Paul Orndorff had really stuck around. Of course, Orndorff competed in the first main event of the very first WrestleMania, teaming with Roddy Piper against Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. Everyone knows that.
Right.
Orndorff then he would compete on and off in uh, in the WWE. Uh, for the WWE, he had spent a lot of time in the NWA. Then he, I mean, he fought. Uh, he took part in. Oh my God, I am so sorry. What's my train of thought here? Um,
You okay, man?
yeah. And Orndorff would eventually. Uh, he would eventually uh, turn face, only to turn heel right back again against Hulk Hogan in '86 when he used Hogan's teammate against Big John Studd and King Kong Bundy. Uh, Orndorff's biggest singles match came in a steel cage Saturday night's main event, episode number 9 against Hulk Hogan. Uh, in the A match that saw both Orndorff and Hogan climb over the cage and touch the floor at the same time. And it was the first WWF steel cage match that was called a draw and restarted in the same night. Uh, Orndorff and Hogan was such a huge feud that Orndorff injured his arm while weightlifting, and he would not take the time off to get it treated. Instead, continued to wrestle. Uh, Eventually, um, Orndorff would be on his way out of the WWE, finding his last appearance coming at the first ever Survivor Series, where he was actually on the face team with Hulk Hogan, Bam Bam Bigelow, Ken Patera, and Don Morocco. Um, only to find himself eliminated by the man who was actually brought in to replace him, Rick Rude. Orndorff had a semi-retirement a little bit, and then signed with WCW in 1990. He would have, again, on and off again, feuds with Arn Anderson and Barry Windham in the Four Horsemen. Uh, Funny enough, Paul Orndorff has many WCW house show victories over a man you may have heard of him by the name of Dean Marcellus.
Yes.
You may have heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, then he would be on his way out of the WCW. He spent time in Hurry with UWF, the AWF, NWL, a legendary feud with, and I'm using the word legendary loosely here, with Dr. Death Steve Williams, which I actually have a collection of those matches from the UWF on cassette. It's left to me by my cousin when he passed away. It's a very interesting promotion, of course. You want to know more? Check out the Herb Avery's episode of Dark Side of the Ring. Spent the time in Smoky Mountain, then really his 1992 return to WCW, uh, television champion, a feud with Cactus Jack, uh, Falls Count Anywhere match, Super Bowl III, uh, then managing to actually have a successful career run with Paul Roma, which I think is the biggest surprise out of out of everything here. How anybody can have a successful career with Paul Roma is amazing. Former
Absolutely.
WCW Tag Team Champions multiple times. And of course, this comes unfortunately on the heels of the passing of Del Wilkes, a Patriot, who also had many memorable matches with Mr. Wonderful. And Orndorff eventually was part of the second legit class of the WWE Hall of Fame after they started doing the annual ceremonies again in 2004 as part of the 2005 class. Inducted by Bobby Heenan, who'd be on again and off again of WWE. Funny enough, Orndorff's last match was in 2017 at the age of 67 for the Canadian Wrestling Elite at a show in Manitoba. Orndorff did reveal a number of years ago that he was diagnosed with cancer. He did announce later on down the road that it was gone. It was his son Travis had posted a video showcasing that he had he was dealing with dementia. He's unsure if dementia had any part in Orndorff's passing, but Orndorff's son does believe that the dementia was a result of CTE and numerous injuries brought on by his time in the room. Nevertheless, Paul Orndorff, a true legend in every sense of the word. One of the biggest what if stories, if not the biggest what if story. You know, aside from Roddy Piper, who again just he will be missed in every sense of the word. He was Mr. Wonderful.
You know, I kind of felt a little disrespectful. WWE only put up a graphic for him, but rather than have a little tribute video to him on Raw or SmackDown. Um, you know, like you said, he was a big part of WWE. You can't talk about WrestleMania 1 without talking about Paul Orndorff in the main event with Piper.
Very true.
So,
I mean, did we cut WWE some slack because of everything that's been going on? I mean, the return to live crowds.
fair enough. Um, of course, thoughts and prayers go out to his family. Um, and yeah, it just sucks. Something else that happened, this week. It was rumored that Goldberg was going to wrestle Bobby Lashley at this year's SummerSlam, which generated a lot of backlash. Scooter?
Uh, Goldberg still has a contract of 2 matches per year. And there's 2 years left on that. Goldberg is expected apparently to show up on Raw this Monday.
That's a really big disappointment for fans, no? They really don't want to see Goldberg, right?
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I can't speak for fans at this point, but honestly, I mean, who knows what we want to see anymore?
I don't think I want to see Goldberg. I think that's a fair assessment.
Yes, I think that's a fair assessment.
Um, Something else that happened this week, Mandy Rose made her NXT debut. It's kind of suggested that Alea is making a main roster debut, and this was kind of like a compensation, I suppose. Uh,
Yeah, apparently.
do you see Mandy Rose actually making an impact on NXT, or are the girls down there just gonna eat her alive?
It probably maybe not either alive, but I mean, I would not. Uh, I wouldn't expect it to be necessarily anything so great.
And more news coming out. Um, SmackDown first live crowd in a year and a half. And yeah, do we? Me and you were talking off air whether or not we think this is going to last, considering that it was around a normal capacity of 10,000 uh, 10,000 fans with little to no masses.
Yeah, I still, I think it's gonna be again. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. I don't think. Yes, we can cheer and celebrate now, but you gotta give it a couple of weeks.
And of course, they had some surprises as well. Um, Finn Balor making his WWE main roster return, uh, attacking Sami Zayn. So
Yeah, that was a big shock. It was apparently teased before the show through a tweet. It was apparently a cryptic tweet involving the code. Uh, yeah, Finn Balor and Sami Zayn. It's good to see Balor back up on the main roster, where he honestly belongs. Um, and hopefully it's hopefully we see more Balor. I mean, that's all I can say.
do you think Finn Balor is going to have a successful run on the main roster, or do you think that Vince McMahon kind of has his mind made up about him at this point?
You know what? I don't know. Given his NXT run, I honestly I really don't know what to think anymore. This is apparently a very confusing time to be a wrestling fan too.
Yeah. Something that's confusing. AEW is outselling WWE in New York right now. Do you attribute this to having WWE and Madison Square Garden specifically requires you to have a vaccination in order to attend the show? Or do you think that AEW is just maybe a more desired show?
I believe AEW actually has more than one show for New York City, including the stadium show at Arthur Ashe Stadium. So to say that they're outselling would probably only be because they have more than one show. WWE only has the one MSG show. So, and honestly, I don't think New York is a market WWE is concerned with anymore. They are more concerned. They are more concerned with Texas and California.
And
Lord knows they won't want to go anywhere near Florida again.
I don't think anybody wants to go to Florida for the time being. Now, just a lot of crazy news coming out. What do you think that they? Why do you think that they went with Goldberg and not Brock Lesnar? Considering we haven't seen Brock Lesnar since the start of all this.
Oh, that's easy. The ponytail.
The what?
Brock Lesnar's ponytail. That's why.
Brock Lesnar has a
See
ponytail?
the thing? I mean, come on. Yep, and it's barely a ponytail. It's like a pony tassel. I have a longer ponytail than Brock Lesnar.
Okay, now we need to see
from the
Brock
Holy Grail
Lesnar ponytail on WWE TV. I think that's what the people want.
The thing is, I don't know if we can be able to distinguish that between ponytail Brock Lesnar and Brock's daughter.
Huh?
Hi, I'm Brock Lesnar's daughter. I have a deep voice.
And I believe that will conclude our portion of the news this week, unless you got something.
That's good because Brock Lesnar's daughter's got to go take a dump.
So that would be enough.
I don't know what you're into, James, but everything has a price.
Now, a quick word from our sponsors.
Quick!
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.